Hello, my name is Rudolph Young. This is New Year's Day 2024. And I want to talk to you about, from the topic, Black people have missed their own apocalypse that is mentioned in the Bible. As you look around and look at the world situation, the war in the Middle East, the war in Afghanistan, um, the war in America, that's what we call now the era of Trump. But what African Americans do not realize is that they have missed the apocalypse. The apocalypse that was started by them 2,500 years ago. And it was reinforced in 1432, and it came to fruition in 2016 with the election of Donald Trump. Before I go any further, I would like to clarify certain things. One thing is that there is a lot of controversy about who is the chosen people. And the people in Israel now are not the Hebrew Israelites. First of all, God created both groups. He created the Jews of Israel, which most of them are Ashkenazi Jews, and he created the Hebrew Israelites, of which most of them are Black Africans, of which we are descended from here in America. The people who call themselves Jews, they are Europeans, the descendant of Ashkenaz, one of the descendants of Japheth, which is the ancestor of all Europeans, including the so-called people of the sea. These people are not the Jews of Judea in the 1st century BC. The Jews in the 1st century BC were Hebrew Israelites. They call them Jews is because in the 1st century BC, the Hebrew Israelites in Judea and the surrounding areas changed to what we call the Judean traditions. That means that they practice the Israelite religion, the Hebrew religion, with Judean tradition. We are talking about political traditions and not necessarily religious traditions. Keep in mind that these people were Hebrews and they were Shemites and Hamites. At any case, they were black Africans. Then we get to the 7th century and the Byzantine Empire. We find people of the Byzantine Empire who were Romans claiming to be Jews, claiming to be the Jews of the 1st century BCE. They are not. Jesus said that these were Jews who claimed to be Jews but were not Jews, but were the synagogue of Satan. And in Deuteronomy 28:68, it says that the sons of Japheth were the enemy. They are the enemy of black people. Those are not my words. Those are the words of God. Now, if you look at the definition of the sons of Japheth, i.e. white Europeans, you get the same definition as Satan. The Bible says Satan will go to and fro across the world seeking whom he can devour, murder, kill, rape, exploit, deceive. And that is the same definition of the descendants of Japheth or Europeans. The prediction of the apocalypse was found in the book of Daniel's, the handwriting on the wall that says time times half times plus 20. It says at the time we were saying that the Medo-Persian Empire shall be divided. and 2,520 years in the future, it shall be divided again. However, that was the year 1919. In the area of the Medo-Persian Empire, which was located in the modern country of Iraq. That was then the Ottoman Turkish Empire. The Ottoman Turkish Empire was divided in 1919. Some people call this the time of the Gentiles, but actually it is the time of the Hebrew Israelites. That occurs the last 100 years of the Apacolypse. We are talking about from 1920 to 2020. And 2020 was the beginning of the time of the end that started in 2016 at the election of Donald Trump, who was actually the little horn in the Bible. The little horn, there is no doubt who the little horn is. The little horn is the presidency of the United States, which was occupied by Donald J. Trump. And we know that this is the United States because the Bible talks about the 10 horn beast, or the 10 kings. And it says that the little horn comes up and he uproots 3 horns to complete the 10. The horns that the little horn uprooted was England, France, and Spain, to form the United States from the Atlantic Ocean to the Pacific. And also, the Bible says the little horn shall be more powerful than the 9 remaining horns. We're talking about the 9 colonial powers that was the revived Roman Empire. Most of them are in Western Europe. In World War I, President Woodrow Wilson started his Century of America. The the Ashkenazi Jews wrote a letter to Woodrow Wilson for him to bring it before the League of Nations. They opposed the Belfour Declaration, which proposed a homeland for Jews in Palestine, which the Ashkenazi Jews of the United States and Europe rejected. They suggested that the United States of America was the prophesied homeland for the Jews. And they said that they do not want Palestine as a homeland for Jews. However, the people who were living in Palestine, and particularly around Jerusalem, were Hebrew Israelites. You can see movies of the Hebrew Israelites in Jerusalem, and they were black people. Then later on you see that by 1948 the major population of Palestine were not black people, but they were Arabs. They were Arabs. These are the people who became Palestinians when the United Nations and the British and the Americans and all those partitioned Palestine, supposedly for a Jewish homeland and an Arab homeland. If you had went up to these Arabs and asked them what was their nationality, they would not say Palestinian. The first one they would say, we are Syrians, and then Lebanese, and then Jordanians. However, with the forced partition of Palestine, formed the Palestinian people that had not existed before. In fact, there is a Palestinian state. It is called Jordan. Why? Because Jordan is 60% of the population is Palestinians. In other words, those people that were displaced from Palestine, they went to Jordan. Jordan is an artificial country. So is Iraq and Kuwait. When the British and the French dismantled the Ottoman Turkish Empire. Now, how did Woodrow Wilson create the situation that exists today? Number one, if you look at the major players in the present conflict in the Middle East, you will see the Russians, the Chinese, the Iranians, the Israelis, the United States, France, England, and if you look at the background of those people, you will see that these people are the people who enslaved Africans, including the Chinese, who participated in the Indian Ocean slave trade with the Arabs. And also the Persians, now called Iran. I'll be back in a few minutes.